Okay, thank God. I mean,
Yeah.
thank God, thank God. And I mean, there's the new Pope.
Yeah. Right.
It's right up there in the same. You being gone for like 2 weeks in a row there, it was, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Two,
It's like,
three, I think. Three,
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
So now that you're back, it's like the new Pope.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
feel,
same you, but it's like now
yeah.
that you've been gone for a while. It's
I reinvented myself over the past 3 weeks.
did you? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the Pope is from Chicago, right? Isn't he the new Pope?
Yeah. Yep. Chicago Deep Dish is now the official Eucharist.
So how do you? I mean, think back. I guess all the popes are like this too. Like when you're like a teenager or whatever. I mean, you're not perfect, even if you're the Pope. When you're a teenager, you screw around and you think to yourself, "Geez, I'm going to be the Pope for God's sake."
But apparently, this guy knew he wanted to be the Pope from early on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what his brothers were saying, whether they make an uproar. But I mean, yeah, I guess to get like anything else to be not all the time, but most people know early on, like people at that, like
Yeah.
I'm sure you when you were a little guy, you said, "I'm going to play in the National Hockey League," and you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I think about it too. Like I guess listen, it's different worlds we live in. But if somebody says, "Listen, I'm going to be the Pope."
Yeah, no, that's kind of a different one for sure. Yeah.
If your kid came to you and said, "I'm going to be the Pope," I'm 8 years old. I'm going to be the Pope.
I'd be like, okay, I'm scared. Like, I had a little girl in a hockey camp one year. She was 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
And it's during lunchtime. I came, "Hey, what are you eating?" She goes, "Well, we only eat organic." So when she said that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And she looks at me. She goes, "So who do you like in the primaries?"
Oh,
I said, "You're a midget, aren't you? Oh, little person, aren't you?" 8 years old.
Okay, I've got some things that matter of fact, could come up with a list or whatever. So I want to talk about, not to do it now or in specific order. Nose hair is a topic that we need to discuss.
Yeah.
And this real ID. Okay, let's get on this.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably know this. Oh, the other one is where the term hungover comes from too. I actually did.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So okay.
Oh, I know what it is. I remembered.
Do you? What is it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it was either in Ireland or Scotland. When you get so hammered, they'd outside. They have a thing that you could just hang on,
They
like
had a
lean
rope.
over.
They had a rope.
Yeah, a rope, like a clothesline. And then when you sobered up, they take you down and they send you home. Yeah, that's
like people couldn't afford a house or a place to sleep. They just hang over a rope and they're
so you've entered my world now. You have absolutely useless information that's really esoteric, means nothing to anybody.
I was on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it was. This reel popped up, and I was thinking to you. I said, "This is great. I got to remember this one."
Yeah, I read that a while ago. It's pretty cool.
Real ID. When do you think the Real ID Act was put into place?
I heard. I wasn't sure at first, but I think it's pretty old, right?
Yeah, it's like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was obviously put there because they wanted to try to make sure that the terrorists could not get fake IDs.
Right.
But if it's such a big deal about stopping terrorists, why would it take 20 years for it to be put in place?
Well, that's a great question. I also think instead of worrying about real ID, they should be worrying about radar.
Radar.
I mean, what's going on in Newark Airport? Have you?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. But I got to tell you, that's all free. Like, how all of a sudden now is Newark Airport just falling apart? There's no.
Well, apparently, it's been a pretty open secret within the industry.
Really?
Yeah. They're still using radar from World War II. Now, I mean, somebody say, "Well, radar's radar; it doesn't change." I'll give you that. But they're still using floppy disks. That's how antiquated our air traffic control systems are.
At Newark, and an international airport in Newark?
Yeah. I guess just by sheer luck or the grace of God, nothing horrific has occurred all this time. But they lost complete 2 or 3 times now for like 90 seconds. Oh, screen's blank. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
That's I'm just thinking here, like in the United States of America, with the billions and trillions of dollars we spend.
Yeah.
We can't keep.
We can spend $8 million to study shrimp on a treadmill.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But,
God. All right. So here's my thing with the Real ID, and I like going on to the Newark thing too. So I just view it as another way for the federal government to keep an eye on us.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
That's just, if you're so worried about terrorists, it takes you 20 years to get this thing put out.
Yeah.
And now you want to, and again, it's like, I don't mean to pick on other people. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, but we're still like sheep. Like we went through the pandemic, the mask, everything. Everybody says, "Oh, get the Real ID."
Yeah. We were talking about that last night. Just like it's scary how people just said okay, and they
Yeah.
say no, I'm not doing that. And the ones that did say I'm not doing that, oh, they were called. I mean, just about everything under the
Yeah.
sun. People lost jobs, people lost businesses.
I know.
I mean,
And now they make it more difficult too. If you go to the airport without a real ID, you just want to use your passport.
Mhm.
Now they have a passport or a line that is for non-real
just
ID.
for those guys. Yeah.
Yes. So make it more difficult.
And try and get your real ID here in the state of New Jersey. Like
Oh,
the next appointment is November of 2035.
Right.
It's-
So now
yeah.
it becomes a federal ID.
Mhm.
So you go into another database. Well, we're already in the database.
Well, and again, so you're telling me now we want to talk about our undocumented group of people in the country, which is somewhere they estimate probably about 22 million.
Right.
None of those will be able to fly now.
Right.
I don't believe that.
Right.
I mean, they're flying now.
I know. It's yeah. Like so like the other day they had an article in the USA Today about how a lot of major cities are sinking.
Mhm.
And I go, okay, I've never heard this before. All of a sudden this article comes out.
Tom. Do you know what the obesity rate right now is? Gotta be.
What it is. But when that kind of stuff happens, so they come up with a story like even Newark or sinking cities or this something else is going on. They're
Mhm.
trying to distract us from what else is going on.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something else going on. Now there's the deal with China. We don't have a deal with China.
Think of the past, I don't know, just take past 4 months.
Right.
What happened to the drones? Nobody's
know.
talking about drones. I mean,
Yeah.
the story just went away.
I
Then
know.
it was, I always say it's a 3-day cycle,
Yeah.
really intense, and it starts to peter off a bit.
That's true. Yeah, the drones were like, we're getting invaded. China's here or
Yeah.
whatever.
There's aliens and everything, and then all of a sudden, but nothing.
It's the same thing. We can go. I'd like to go back. Somebody did it, I think, too. I saw a video where somebody was talking about the history of global warming or climate change, going back, like all the things, like the ozone layer had a hole in it that was going to burn us up and all.
Well,
All of a sudden, did somebody cure the ozone layer or what? Like,
and I just read more than once in the past week, the ice
yes,
thickness in Antarctica is increasing.
yeah.
So we need more carbon dioxide. We need to run our cars even if we're not in them.
Oh God,
It was that. Remember acid rain?
acid rain. That's another
Yeah.
one.
Which
Yeah.
meant an entirely different thing for a lot of people.
So there was bird flu there that was wiping out all the birds and the eggs. All of a sudden, that's cured now too.
Yeah, the avian flu. Then we had Ebola. Remember Ebola?
Yeah, Ebola. Yeah.
Everybody was all jacked up about Ebola.
So how did all of a sudden we just fix the bird? Did the birds like heal themselves with the bird flu, or what?
Yeah, I'm assuming they did, and without any of our pharmaceuticals, they did it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's always, yeah.
I know. But it
and,
is. Somebody really compiled all the things that all the things like.
So-
remember, killer bees were a thing there for a while too. Killer bees.
Murder hornets too. Remember the murder? Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a guy I think I mentioned before. This guy Lee Morrison. He's over in England. He's a combative guy. Very good.
Yeah.
But he talks just about that. He goes, listen, they want you in a constant state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
What's the leading cause of cancer? Stress. So if you keep a population stressed, and I don't think they're doing it so you get cancer. I'm just saying it's a good way to control people.
Although they make a lot of money off cancer. Wow.
Tons.
Yeah. Okay. The great Danny Erickson is here. Mark mentioned obesity. I think who else would the guy who documented Supersize Me?
Yeah. Morgan Spurlock was his name.
See, hold on. I'm getting turned on here. The fact that you come up with Morgan Spurlock.
Well, because it's a weird name. That's probably why I remembered it. Yeah.
Really? So you're better at remembering a weird name, like as opposed to Bill Smith?
Yeah. What's your name again?
Yeah.
It's
No,
too plain. It's too plain. Laidlaw. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
gotta add a little spice to it or something.
Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of a wide-ranging topic here, nose hairs, but it goes into. I'm assuming you and Beth now have been together so long, and if you're out to dinner someplace,
She's
And-
right here if you want to ask her.
okay,
Tom wants to know if we're out to dinner and you see I have nose hair, would you say, hey, you got to trim that up or get a landscaper?
Out to dinner in a restaurant?
Yeah.
No, but I'd say it at home.
She would tell me here.
right. Once you get
Yeah.
home,
Yeah, once you get home. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
how about like food?
Can't
How
do
about
anything
food,
about it there.
how
Food
about,
on the face?
how
Oh,
about
yes,
food,
I'll tell you
food in
what
the
that
teeth?
is.
Food in the
Yeah.
teeth.
Oh, food in the teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Anything-
instant.
Anything you could do something about immediately, I would tell you.
Can
But
you-
nose hair, no.
Can you
Can't
hear
do
her?
anything about
Yeah, I definitely. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What about poor behavior?
I just say that all the time. It doesn't matter where we are.
I was sitting with a girl one time here at my place, and we were watching a hockey game or something. I can't remember what it was. And apparently I had nose hair. So I actually thought it was kind of cool. She just reached over, grabbed the nose hairs, ripped them out of my nose. And we were sitting by ourselves. And she was
That's
kind
a
of,
level of comfort that most people
Yeah.
don't have. Yeah.
I think I gave that. And she was kind of, she was impressed that I didn't flinch or anything like that. She
Yeah.
goes, you didn't move at
It
all.
is painful. I mean, when you pull a nose hair. Yeah.
Oh God, nose hair. Because that is a thing, right? I mean, especially as guys, as we get a little older, we don't like to admit this, but nose hair, ear hair.
Yeah. It starts to come everywhere where it's not supposed to be, at least. But the thing with the nose hair is it is a filter. That's why you have it.
Right.
Yeah. For, yeah. But you gotta change the filter every once in a while.
I had a buddy, a guy, and I won't say it, probably give him away too much if I tell it. So he was a friend, we're a business associate, and he had one of those noses where it was like turned up.
Oh, so you saw the whole bush.
Oh, just totally. Now, to his credit, you could tell he was aware, and he spent a lot of time cleaning that sucker.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well,
Yeah, that sucker was clear.
that's self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's married too. It must have been his wife too. Must have said, "Okay, I'll marry you, but."
Don't.
Right.
Yeah. And if you don't look up.
Yeah.
Whatever you do. Yeah.
He's walking around like this.
Yeah. Or wore his hat down here.
Oh God! Look at the beautiful Beth there. Look at her. Like
Yeah, she's gonna go for a run.
we're gonna call her Jane.
She's
Fonda.
living that easy life now. She runs, then she goes to the gym, then she goes to the library, and then nap time in the afternoon. She's living her best life. Yeah.
Naps are good. Now are you a nap guy at all? Do you nap?
If I have a chance, I'd like 20 minutes.
Bed or
charges your better. Pardon?
bed or couch?
Wherever it happens. It could be
Oh.
mostly the couch. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you can do like 20 minutes. You have to set a timer and like that. You'll have.
No, generally speaking, either I just get up or the phone rings or you get a text or.
Right.
And that's a new thing too. I didn't think I had to tell people don't send me text messages at 2 a.m. Right. And it just happened last night.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Was this somebody in the same time zone?
Yeah. So it's a client of mine. He's in the police academy, so he doesn't get out till I think it's like 3 to midnight. So he wanted to confirm some stuff, and I got to tell him, listen, that's cool, but just wait till at least 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess in case of emergency, you leave your notifications on so you can hear it. You don't turn it off. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm probably going to do now, that's a great point. I'm going to turn off when I go to bed the text messages, but keep the phone on.
Right.
Because a phone call is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to have that.
And we're like this. Even though our sons are grown, you want to. You always.
You never really sleep. Ever.
Let me see here. Danny's on a roll here. He's better today. Remember, guys, the library's exercising your mind.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we see if Carla Sherman shows up. She was regularly making a big. Remember, she was feeling bad that you weren't here, and she was jumping in big time.
Oh, good. She filled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's one of those things you look at. Are you happy that she's back?
Yeah.
Or are you looking and saying, where did you go? Like, why were you absent? Right?
Oh, me.
No. I'm sorry. I know yours, but Carla.
Oh,
She really got active in the show, which
Yeah.
was a huge bonus to
well,
everybody.
hopefully she'll be back.
Well, yeah, but the question was, where had she gone? Right.
Maybe that's a good question.
Or is that a negative way? Should we just be happy that she was there?
Yeah, and hope that she comes back, but
Right.
who knows? Yeah, maybe she went on vacation.
Right. And here's a good point. So
That's a big question.
yeah. Well, and here's as a little experiment too. I was on, I think it was Instagram, and a few videos popped up of pooping, pooping related.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to test out Tracy to see is she okay.
Yeah.
So sent my 3 or 4, nothing.
Well, this may be a major reason we don't see her anymore. Just saying.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Excellent point. Here's our boy right here, the beautiful Barry Shelley.
Oh, my man.
Beautiful body.
I love that dude, man. He is the best. He is the best.
Huge heart right there. All right, so you haven't been on since they hired Mike Sullivan as well. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it gets you and I've talked. It's the coach is a coach, but you need the right room, you need the right players, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the offseason here.
Well, it's interesting now that you watch like Florida play, for example. Now, and again, it's not just because they won the cup last year, because I think this is the common denominator with pretty much all teams that win the Stanley Cup. But they just have a bunch of guys that don't care. Like they don't care about their personal feelings. I mean, I'm sure maybe privately they'll have just, but that's all left private with the coaches and everything. But when they get out there and play, man, they're animals. Oh man, just in every way, just relentless, forecheck.
Marchand.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can tell they love him, right?
Yeah.
They're the kind of guys that love the way he is. Yeah.
Well, you remember when they first go through? They made it to the finals. I forget who. Was Skrudland the coach?
Who Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, way back when they first started?
When they were throwing rats on the ice?
Yes. That was Doug McLean was the coach.
Really? Oh, okay.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. I just thought it was Skrudland. But anyhow, maybe he was playing. Skrudland was playing there.
That's
actually.
probably
That's what it was. Yeah. So maybe the rats should come back.
They are. I think the league kind of stepped in and didn't want them. It took like 20 minutes to clean the ice.
There was a guy that played for the Penguins. They had puck giveaway night, which was pretty dumb because people started, and he got concussed in the warm-ups. In no bucket on it. He got a puck to the head. He was concussed.
God. What do you think? The Rangers never do stuff like that. They don't do stuff.
T-shirts.
T-shirts. That's true.
Yeah. Can't hurt anybody.
Where I hit the woman in the forehead with a T-shirt. Did I tell you that?
Yeah. Was she bleed? Did she get opened up or?
No, but you could tell like I wasn't far away and I was trying to get it up over top and it just rifled it, right in the forehead. And the poor, like she was dazed. Like I think she was just like, "What? Tom Laidlaw just threw a T-shirt in my face." So
I tell you, when Rammer was trying to throw Leach's gloves to the assistant equipment guy, where you got the backup goaltender is on the island, and some girl just she just got her beer and she's sitting there, a young kid like in her 20s. Boom, right in the head, right? I tell you this, right? So I told Beats, I said, listen, when the period ends, go in that locker room, get her some Ranger stuff and go apologize.
Right.
And Beats was a great guy, but he was, was kind of like not shy, but, kind of shy. Anyhow, so I'm standing here. I see him go down there between periods and he hands her, I think, a hat and a shirt. She picks it and just slams it on the ground, starts stomping. And Beats is like, she goes, I'm an Islander fan. What do you think I'm here for?
That
was awesome.
Look who's back here too. I don't think I saw him around when you were gone. Man, so pretty clear who's
We're getting all the boys back.
Yeah. The great William Haynes, the train conductor from.
So what's going on with is Shedeur Steven, Sanders? Is he really with Cleveland now, or that's just kind of like?
So I guess they've started their training camps or their OTAs or whatever they call them. Yeah. And he's there. Yeah. Apparently, I read a couple articles saying that he's really acting like a model citizen. But it's going to be a suit no matter what, though.
Yep. Is he a free agent or they?
Oh no, so he's drafted. So he's in Cleveland's camp.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I don't know if he signed a contract yet, but
because I thought I saw something this morning on YouTube that he was in camp throwing darts too. He was really. Yeah.
Some people speculate he'd get traded. But no matter what the problem's going to be, so whoever is the starting quarterback other than him, if they have a bad game, if they lose a game, right away the reporters are going to be asking, should I play? Right? So,
I think the Jets should make a trade for him. Just because. I mean, what do you got to lose? I mean, every quarterback they get stinks. So maybe this will be the guy that actually.
And I'm not against what you're saying. I think the new coach coming in though is going to say, "Nope, I'm starting over."
That's true. He wouldn't want to deal with that. Yeah.
It was like who's the big guy they had the Jets here years ago? The big fat guy that liked feet.
Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan. Yeah. So he would kind of get in that.
Guy who liked feet. His wife too. They had their own. I don't think it was OnlyFans, but it was some kind of like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I tell you, I think I must have told you. But I met a woman who, her and her friend or her and her sister, he would hire them to go to dinner and sit at the table and take their shoes off and put their feet up, and he would play with their feet under the table at the restaurant.
Well, that's kind of weird, but could be worse. I thought you were going to say that the feet were in the food or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and she claimed, "Listen, Tom, it was nothing sexual," and I said, "Okay, well,
good. You may want to change your thought on that, but."
Let me see here. Sorry, guys. I retired. Oh, been traveling.
There you go. God bless, man. Enjoy every second of the week.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
And he was an Army guy too. That's right. So he likes your shirt.
Yeah.
You got
Oh
on?
yeah. This is Army Athletics. Coached a little boxing up there a while back.
Tom wants Roger Staubach. Yeah, I do want Roger Staubach as quarterback. Yeah. Was he an Army guy or Navy? I can't remember.
Annapolis, Navy.
Nah.
Yeah. And don't forget, so he did his 5 years of service before he went into the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was cool. Remember that when he came back, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, probably the most other, I would think, famous would be David Robinson, the basketball player.
San Antonio, right? Is that where he played?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah. He's another Navy guy. Who else?
Annapolis, yeah.
Was there anybody else? I'm sure there's other guys.
Oh, yeah. I think there was a running back out of Navy. Who was the Stanley Cup winner out of Army?
Oh,
Dan Highnote.
Oh, was he a
West Point grad? Yeah.
Dan Heino was?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Wow. That's interesting. It's just
He left on a high note. Sorry.
Here we go. Napoleon McColcomb.
Oh, that's right. That's what I couldn't think of. Thanks, William. Yeah, was he a receiver or a running back, William? I forget.
That too. I remember that name.
I think he might have been a running back for some reason.
Raiders.
Yeah. Well, running back, William, or wideout?
How about was it the Raiders quarterback just retired? David Carr? No, New Orleans, right?
Yeah, he had shown a lot of potential in that. He just couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV.
Oh, TV?
Totally Virgin.
No.
Totally
Maybe,
Virgin.
he might have meant TB. I don't know, tailback, but I don't know. But anyhow, yeah, I do remember the name. Yeah. I'm sure there were others that played earlier
Running
on
back.
too.
It was running back. Yeah.
He was a running back. Yeah.
Good. Now, were you always a Giants fan growing up?
So growing up, Giants fan until the Jets came around. Then I kind of same thing. I was a Yankee fan. My dad used to bring me to the games, and then once the Mets came around, see, I like teams that lose.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about this. You know, the summer, you have the
No
off-season.
expectations, no pressure. Yeah.
Here comes the Wonder Woman here. Giants.
Oh, that's
receiver.
right. Yep, she's right, Susan. Yep, Conky was Annapolis.
And here's what happens to one of the many byproducts of you not being on the show is I tend to get myself in more trouble. You get into discussions about Kreider and Susan.
Oh, okay.
I was pushing the limit.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what management does. I mean, because he is the longest serving Ranger. He is Mr. Ranger right now. Yeah.
He's got a tradable contract, much more tradable contract. It's only like $6.5 million, I think it is, the cap hit on his.
So did they put together an assistant staff for Sullivan yet?
I don't think so yet.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. Interesting though, it was a little bit different of a press conference they had in that they went out of the way of, I don't know if it was intentional or not, of commenting about how important it was for Chris Drury and Sullivan to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that was intentional, just happened to come up in the conversation, but it was really clear that was
big part of it. Yeah,
they're both very part of that. And which I'm sure with all the stuff that happened, if like a lot of the rumors are true about the players being unhappy about business, the decisions were made with trades and all that kinds of stuff. I think clearly from ownership, they're saying, okay, Chris Drury he's not getting fired. Not only is he not getting fired, he's getting an extension, getting a new contract, and we're hiring a coach. And what they're saying is he's either the highest paid or one of the highest paid coaches ever. So they're clearly making a statement. Listen, this is not you guys in the locker room don't run the ship here. These guys run the ship, which is good.
I wonder if they'll keep, what's his name? Dan Muse. Cause wasn't he a NDTP coach? So you have that Olympic kind of connection with Sullivan and Drury.
Is that like the kind of bald guy? Like
guy, I think he coached with the national development team, and some of those kids probably played there. I would think, like
rumor is like they let go of Phil Housley, and part of the severance was like hair implants
for Phil.
Yeah, any kind. Well, I shouldn't say just hair implants, but any kind of procedure he wanted done to improve the.
There's an interesting guy. I mean, he was a really offensive player, right? He was a great player, mostly in Buffalo. I think he played in Jersey a bit. Yep. Sometimes those guys where it comes easy, they can't coach because they just, why can't you do that? Well, I can't.
To me, there's no, look at Craig Ruby on Toronto's bench, Rod Brindamer, and so those grittier guys.
Grittier guys.
Yeah, and look at their teams. Like they made Toronto a much grittier team than it was. Yeah.
Are you surprised how well they're playing? Or
No, Toronto, yes, pleasantly surprised.
yeah,
But I got to tell you one thing: it isn't like Austin Matthews isn't really doing that much. Like he's not the go-to guy, and Tavares really isn't doing that much. It's like Nyes, is it Nyes or whatever?
Yeah.
Really doing a lot. But it's interesting. Those, like they call it the core four, like Nylander, Tavares, and those guys. I mean, they're okay. It's not like they're not doing anything, but they're not the star of the show. It's the other guys.
What's Marner been quiet, or is he producing points?
He's okay, but I mean, it's when it gets physical, they go after him.
Yeah, I think he got elbowed last night, and they didn't make the call. They let it go. Yeah,
there's some stuff going on. It's funny, and this is we'll talk about refereeing too. I just want to get to this comment here. I see Ben was doing videos. Yeah. You get stung with a bee or something. Yeah. He's allergic. This is it seems like every year, and I don't blame fans at all, there's always a discussion about refereeing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go back 100 years or 75 years in the NHL, everybody's always complaining about refereeing.
Never going to end.
The NHL. Yeah, it's just, guys are always in the playoffs. They're always going to try to push it to the limit. The referees can't see everything that's going on. Huh? The one thing, what's the Dallas-Winnipeg game yesterday?
Did not.
It was boring. There was one point in there where they had a questionable goal that was scored, whether it was kicked in or not.
Mm-hmm.
And they went on, I guess, and I don't think it was maybe 10 minutes, but they went on for a long time. And it was like, guys, this is terrible.
See, to me, my way of thinking, they should just make it really simple. If it goes off a skate, it's not a goal, whether it's intentional or not. Just make it simple.
Oh, really? So I thought you were going to go with the whole replay thing and say, okay, we're going to do a replay. You've got 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, if you haven't made the decision, whatever your call was on the ice, that's the call.
That's a good one too. Yeah. But I think
you would go with nothing off the skates.
Yeah, just to make it, there's no question. Went off the skates, not a goal. It's got to go off a stick.
We had James Patrick's a really intelligent young guy.
Mm-hmm.
Young guys getting old now. But he brought up some interesting points. Like one of the ones he said was, if you take a penalty and you're killing the penalty, why are you allowed to ice the puck? Like, why do you get rewarded with the ability to ice the puck with no penalty?
It would make the game a higher scoring game for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's a real quick fix to make it.
Yeah. I thought about that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Like it's almost like you're getting a reward for taking a penalty.
Yeah. It's like you're changing the rule.
Yeah.
Of the game. Yeah. So that's a great point. Yeah.
Do you think it's justified as I don't think any coach is that important.
New York.
Right. Again, it's a message they're sending. And it's also, he's got the leverage because I think of all the coaches that would have been available, he is one of those guys that probably.
What kind of numbers are we talking when we talk about that?
Well, if he's the highest in history, Babcock was making like $8 million a year, I think, in Toronto. So if he's making more than Babcock was, then obviously it's that's a lot
of money. Yeah.
But again, and we've talked about this, and you know this, it's part of the issue now coaching these NHL guys is when they're making 10, 12, $14 million a year, they're looking at you going, hey, I'll do what I want to do.
Right.
And the coach is saying, oh, no, you'll do what I tell you to do.
Right.
And if they fire me, fine. They'll fire me. I'm making my $10 million a year too. So, yeah.
Yeah, the money is, it's changed everything. It's changed coaching. Some things has changed for the better where guys take better care of themselves because they realize how much money they can make. But it's from a coaching standpoint, it is. I just think because over expansion, there's how many teams now? I've lost track. 32.
Yeah, 32 now.
So that's why it's a like some teams are an overage junior team.
Well, there are some games you watch. It's like a highly skilled college team, right? It's like they're running around. And I know times are different, but when they get into a little scuffle and all the guys still have their gloves on, it's like, okay, guys. Like it used to be embarrassing that if you got in a scuffle and you're standing there with your gloves on still, everybody's looking at you like, okay, are you involved or not?
Are they sewed on or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just call them what the idiot mittens, right?
Yeah.
So when I see this, and again, it's no disrespect because these are fantastic athletes now. But when they stand there, they get the gloves on, or if they're punching with the gloves on, with the shield on, I'm going, girls. Like,
yeah, man. With the shield, you got I mean,
Oh,
guys, their hands are all cut and
Oh,
ripped up. And I would advise a guy, look, if you're going to fight, don't throw anything other than an uppercut. Just
yeah.
grab and throw uppercuts because you're not going to cut your. Anytime you come over the top, you're going to get a helmet, you're going to get visor.
Well, yeah. Like now, if you're smart at all, if you're going to fight and you want to get hit, just put your head down, and the guy's either
Yeah, just be a battering ram. And it's even sometimes the shield will cut the guy's face too, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Now, okay, do we read between the lines here? Is there a little aggravation here? Have we touched a nerve?
I think it was her gently telling us that
Yeah.
somebody, and she's right, somebody's got to
Right.
be the highest paid dude. You know?
So yeah, there's nothing between the lines. This is a very direct comment.
I think at the end of the day, I don't really care what they pay a coach. It's
Right.
it's
But I
between.
mean, I'm more going like with Susan, it's like the attitude behind the comment here from Susan. Is there some ulterior motive?
Well, I think she's just, like I said, very gently correcting our
Maybe.
attitudes because they do need to be corrected from time to time.
So just saying this, hey guys, it's a fact. Somebody needs
Figure it
to-
out. Like she's polite way of saying, guys, figure it out.
Yeah, like you two are idiots. Like
Yeah.
so there is kind of a statement there.
Yeah, a little bit.
But why do you see in today's the cleanest hit could happen in a following a meeting after? Yeah, well,
Like with Truba, every time he'd smoke somebody, he had a fight.
yeah. So it's become this thing, I think, where everybody feels I've got to put on a show here. I'm sticking up for my teammate.
Yeah.
In the past, what it was, if there was a big hit, there was like let's say it was early in the game.
Mhm.
So if somebody hit one of my guys all game long, the guy that did the hit was like, "We're coming for you."
Yeah.
All game long.
Yeah.
So now he's thinking the whole game, like he's looking around, like where are they coming from? Like to do that now, I'm surprised the coaches don't make a bigger deal about that. Tell the guys because very often that guy gets the extra 2 minutes because it's the instigator penalty. So yeah, I just think that's ridiculous.
You know, back in the day, and I'm sure Probert wasn't the only one. I'm sure you heard it a lot, but something like that happened. He'd skate over to the bench, say, "Listen,
Yeah,
tell him to calm down. I'm coming after everybody on this bench."
yeah, tell it.
Yeah.
Well, that was Kachuk last night when Domi ran Barkov late in the game from behind.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big hit, but Kachuk on the bench, he did right for the camera.
saw
He was telling Nylander,
Yeah.
"Come with you," and he's
You're
pointing
next.
to the elbow, whatever, thing like that.
So when I was out in Utah a few weeks ago, Brad Lukowich, who played in the WHL,
Yeah.
where Dale Purinton played,
Oh,
and he said, so instead of facing the ice, Dale would sit at the end of the bench facing them, just tapping his stick on the glass going,
that
I
is
love Dale.
it's funny, and I did the same thing. But I'll tell you, when you watch the old games, when there was a brawl, and one of the real tough guys, nutcases, the last thing you ever do was try to make eye contact with.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Just like,
you're
no,
like,
no, go for the other guy.
yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
staring right at you. Oh, it was so
So
funny.
I forget who told me, but the story of Archie Henderson, who was a tough guy, played for mostly the Capitals, I think, a little
Yeah.
bit here and there.
Yeah.
Mostly an American League guy, but when he played up, he was a
Yeah.
pretty big dude. And he was in the American League, and I guess it was a kid that was just running around, just being an idiot. And the kid was lugging the puck up, and Archie just leaned over the wall and said, "Slow down!" And the kid hit his brakes. It was like, you know.
uh,
But then, of course, the Billy Guerin in camp when he had enough of the kid.
oh, God. Tomahawk.
Yeah, yeah.
Tom Newsville for beer. I think the teams, like they talk about Washington still being a team that does. I think the teams, I hate to say this, but it's old school. The teams that win,
Mhm.
I think it's more, yeah, that now again, they're careful with it, but it's like, guys, it was time to go for a beer together. Like you saw Kucherov when they won the cup there at Tampa the last time.
Yeah.
He got up there at the press conference. He looked like he had about 10 beers already when he was up at the
It's
press
Russian. It's
Yeah.
Russion.
Yeah.
It's rainy out, vodka. It's cloudy out, vodka. It's a beautiful day, vodka.
I'll tell you, one guy in the playoffs I know Ranger fans hate, but is playing well is Tom Wilson. Man, he's doing everything for that team.
I don't hate him at all. He's, to me, that's the guy I want to coach on every team
Blocking shots, being tough,
Yeah.
scoring goals.
and play. Yeah.
What in today's NHL is the cleanest hit? Oh, okay. So that's the same old question. That was
So, yeah, I think Wilson's game is a little bit like Paul Holmgren, right? I mean, Paul was a pretty good player.
Yep. Yeah, very good. That's a good
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah. Probably not as tough as Paul Holmgren, but
Yeah, not too many are.
yeah. Good guy too. He's one of those fun guys.
Is he a good guy? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, he's really cleaned up his life. He had a drinking problem.
Mhm.
I don't know if it was connected to it or not, but he was out riding his bike one time, got in a bike accident, really got hurt
Oof.
bad.
I kind of
Bicycle,
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, went flipping over or whatever. And again, I don't know if that was related to the drinking or not, but And I think he's really helped a lot of guys from the Flyers that
Had a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that was, I mean, they were that whole culture was back with the Flyers. All those winning years was just,
I can't say names, but so there was a time that the league had a player in treatment, right, for alcohol. And he was in front of a GM, and the GM, I'll tell you later, was an old school guy.
yeah.
And they told him, listen, part of his recovery program is obviously no alcohol, and also, you know, in layman's terms, no women other than his wife, right? And the GM stood up and leaned over and said, even on the road? True story. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. The old school guys, the
Yeah.
managers and the coaches, and like they were old players, so
Yeah.
they didn't know any different either. It was
Right.
like
Yeah.
shots of beer. Like I remember,
Yeah.
I was coming in late for curfew, and an old one of the coaches, obviously was an old player. He comes to me the next morning. He says, "Hey, you stupid. If you're going to be late for curfew, come up to the service elevator. Don't come to
Right. So you're not going to be seen. Yeah.
He's schooling me up
Yeah.
curfew." So yeah. Yes, those were the days. Speaking of being smoked, yes, Robert Picard, that poor guy. Because I didn't give him a chance. I was like, I feel like my career's on the line. So yeah.
Got to keep your head on a swivel, Robert.
Oh man,
Yeah.
good guy too. Had him on a podcast, and you can tell the guy I was doing the podcast with is Tom Smith was trying to stir the pot, get it going, and he was like, "Listen, it happened. It's like 40 years ago. So like, what are we even talking about?"
I think I'm over it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
I have other highlight reels.
Yeah. And he's a good player too. Tough guy talk kindly to you on the ice. Oh yeah. So the old Dave Brown story was, playing against him when it was the Rangers. He hated everybody. If you had a Ranger jersey on, he hated you. Just didn't matter, right? He hated you. Then I got traded out to LA, came back to Philly, lined up for a face-off. He jumps on the ice and beside me. And whenever he gets beside Jake, he wasn't playing that often. You think, oh God, he's going to try to do something, especially at home. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And he leans over to me. He looks at me, and I'm thinking, what? He goes, Tommy, how you doing? How do you like LA? And I'm like, who are you? And I was like, yeah, it's good. It's good, Dave. Yeah, really good. Really enjoying myself out here. Yeah.
He was director of scouting when I was
there. Yeah.
And this is a little bit of a serious story, but 9/11, we just started training camp, and crazy day. So by the time we got to the hotel for dinner, it was probably 9:00 at night. And so everybody's, slats, everybody, all the coaches and scouting. And I think the president came on and was talking very solemnly. And somebody behind us at a different table said something a little bit stupid, right? Well, Brown turned around and just looked at the guy. Oh. And the guy just went.
And for people who haven't met Dave Brown, he's
a really sweet man.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's like that to Stu Grimson. Same thing. Like
Stu's really intelligent guy, too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an attorney. Then he was running the PA for a while, right?
He was involved. I didn't run it, but he was involved.
Or was an attorney for them or something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was. He was good. Yeah. Let me see. Was there ever a player you actually thought was mentally ill? Oh yeah, Ben Wilson. There's a few, but Ben Wilson was on the list. And that's not even. I'm not even saying that as a joke. Like it was. Yeah. Some of the stuff he would do was like spearing guys in the face. I mean, he speared Rare Roots Lane in the face one time. It was like there was nothing going on.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, like why? Okay, first of all, why would you spear anybody? Why would you spear Rare Roots Lane? And I mean, it's like, yes.
Then you didn't play with him, but Gilles Gratton.
Yes, I heard a lot of stories about him. Yeah, definitely. And back then, and this is sad because you hope guys have gotten help, but there's a lot of guys who had alcohol issues and drug issues. So when they got on the ice, it was either like, okay, he's hungover, so everything's good. He doesn't want to do anything, or where is he mentally?
Right.
The whole thing. Like I've joked around about the Dave Smiko story. God rest him. God bless him. We lost his soul. God bless him. We lost him. But when he came up to me one time after I hit Gretzky, and he's walking over, he's skating over to me, and everybody kind of knew that he liked this. But I swear, looking at him, like I was thinking to myself, was he sleeping out in the woods last night or something? Because he had this look like the hair's all over and everything like that. And then he got closer. He was like, oh God, like he was disgusted. Like really, he looked at me like he was disgusted. Like Tom, like if the words could have come out of his mouth differently, he was looking at me like, Tom, do you really want to make me do this? Like, I'm busy. I want to go for a beer. Kind of mentality, you know?
Did you ever hear the story? Chris Nylon's got his little podcast. So every once in a while, you get a snippet of it or whatever. And I won't name the referee, but there's a referee that showed up to do a game that Nylon was playing in and was really banged up from the night before. The referee, since then he's got better with his issue. He was really banged up, and he said, Nylon's in the lineup. I can't deal with him today. So in the pregame warm-up or whatever, he intentionally bumped into Nylon and said, you're out. You're gone for the game, right?
No.
And then after the game, he went up and said, listen, I got to apologize. This is what happened. Nylon said, yeah, me too. Thank God that you threw me out of the game.
See, that's a funny story. I like that one.
True story, too.
Oh, yeah. I can see that being very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would imagine it would be much harder for players to go to a bar now in your day with everyone having. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
And that's like
That's a great point.
Yeah, and that's, I think, like the Chicago guy, or excuse me, the Washington team. I saw an article about it. They were saying it in a very negative way, but it was when they were really doing well, and they're doing well now too. It's like, and I think it was kind of interesting because if reporters had seen all the teams back when we played the 70s, 80s, and everybody was doing it.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right or healthy or something you should do, but
I have one to see if Susan can remember because I don't remember the team. A while back, there's a bunch of guys, and the Uber driver, how they got the recording going all the time.
Yeah,
they're just carving the coaching staff. I mean, absolutely carving them. And then it came out. I forget what team it was.
It was Duchesne. He was in Matt Duchesne who's in Dallas now.
Yeah.
But he was the guy that was really saying all the bad stuff, and he just got traded to Nashville, I think it was.
Might have been.
Yeah. And he was kind of getting that reputation too, where he wanted out of Colorado, got traded to Nashville. Mm-hmm. His reputation wasn't that good, and then this came out, and he was really like laughing behind the backs of the coaches.
Right? Yeah. Not a good look.
I've wondered, like, what would it be like to go back into the, the coaches' meetings with those guys.
Yeah. It'd be a tough day.
Yes, Tom could have been if I had gone in a different direction, I would have had to. If I couldn't play, then I would have had to stay in the NHL. I would have played more. Yeah, because you realize you get in those situations. You need to talk to the guys now after that were tough guys, and they didn't. Most of the guys didn't like it.
It's not. I mean, you got to every night. I got to go with him. I got to go with him.
I know. And they were talking about it like the night before games. You just couldn't sleep because you're thinking, oh God.
And what most people don't realize too is those guys, they were the best guy on their youth hockey teams all along.
Yeah.
Right. And then some point in junior, they had a fight and they went, oh, that guy can fight.
Right.
And it kind of.
Right. And then
you get stuck.
The thing is, you come in as a crusher, try to be a rusher, and you're shooting a rusher. Yeah. Ben Wilson seems to be. Well, there's some people you talk to about him, and he's not much of a sweetheart. Yeah.
Nothing changed.
There are some people that knew him off the ice and thought there's really something wrong with him.
There may be. Yeah.
Okay. We learned from the press that Brady Snyder played the entire season with an injury. Is that on the player, coach, or training staff letting that happen? That he played with an injury?
A little bit of everybody, I think.
Yeah. Well, you could speak to that too.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'll tell one of my stories, and I don't mean to, like, everybody's got stories, right? So I don't want to make it sound like I'm some kind of hero or something, but I had a torn tricep one time, and you knew, okay, if you're going to go fix a torn tricep, you're out for months, right? So I had to play with the torn tricep, and man, it was pain. And so the trainer and I kind of like, don't tell anybody, because once you tell anybody, then it becomes a big deal.
Yeah.
And one time we're sitting in the training room there at Madison Square Garden in between periods, and I was just icing it to settle it down a little bit. And the doctor walks in, and I'd already built like a pretty good reputation. I could play through injuries and everything. So he walks in, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just hurt my arm a little bit." So he grabs it, takes a look at it, and the tricep muscle had rolled up into a ball. It was in a ball. And he grabs it. He goes, what are you doing? But you know how the hockey mentality is. It's kind of like, that's cool. That was cool to get the doctor.
And again, everybody knows hockey players are much different than any other professional athlete.
Yeah.
Guy had a heart attack on a bench and wanted to go back out. Remember the kid down in Dallas?
You know what I think? Like, I've heard people say that it's a higher pain threshold. I think it's more being used to getting hurt.
It's a little bit of both. I think athletes, it was a study done. Athletes in general have a 10% greater pain tolerance than non-athletes. And I think that's even further out with hockey
Right.
players.
Yeah,
And
and
also-
it's also that recognition that, okay, I'm hurt now, but I've been hurt before. It's always going to heal. Like I know it heals. So like part of when somebody they haven't gotten hurt the first time, they go like, oh my God, this is terrible.
It's
Then you realize it's going to.
a huge part of that. You get two things about hockey. The culture, for even a lay person who's not a hockey fan, they know they fight, and they also know that they play hurt. Like guys get stitched up and come back out. Most people would sit here and go, that's kind of weird, man. I might stay out. You know what I mean? Or you get your nose, whatever it is.
It is kind of cool. Like when you get hurt and go back and play, it's the coolest thing in the world
Yeah.
for some strange reason. It's
Or
like,
you're sitting on a bench going, handing your teeth to the train, and then hopping back for your next shift.
Yeah.
It's not something that's widely done.
I know.
Yeah.
Like most of your teammates too. Like at the end of your career, most guys they've broken their nose so many times. You just do the old two thumb thing, and squeeze it together. And I'll never forget, I was in LA, and Larry Playfair was there, and Larry's this big monster, tough, fought everybody. And I had hurt my, broke my nose, and give the old two, and he was standing there, goes, "Man, you're a tough dude." And I'm thinking to myself, that's cool because that's great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Right?
Well, probably one of the most famous lines in Slapshot. This is a very deep cut.
Is that true? Oh,
Yeah.
I remember as a kid going to school, like if I got cut and had to get stitches, I couldn't wait to get to school the next day.
And I say this in all seriousness. There's a parallel almost between street gangs because when they have unfortunately some kind of knife attack, something they call it a badge. And
Yeah.
like for hockey players, the same thing. Like if you got a nice big scar, it's a badge of, hey,
Yeah.
I'm a hockey player. I'm a tough guy. Yeah.
Brad Marsh, the same. It's funny you say that way because there's a bunch of guys back then, like myself, Brad Marsh, like Rick Zombo, Harold Snaps kind of guy.
Yeah, Harold Snaps.
Like, we all weren't we had to be good enough skaters.
Oh yeah.
And actually, I look back and like I used to joke around and thinking I was a good skater. I look back, I could skate pretty good. It's just you weren't known for your skating, right? You're known for blocking shots and
Back then, every team had two, maybe some three. Like you look at Buffalo, Playfair, Ruff, Korab,
yeah,
and Schoenfeld. They're pretty four big dudes right there.
Yeah, it was more bang the puck off the glass. And
Yeah, that's all. Keep it simple. Yeah, exactly.
they will kiss there. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
We're at. Let me see. What was your worst on ice injury? I guess rupture in my spleen. Although it wasn't like it was one thing. It was like the end result, and that was like super. Like I thought I was the toughest guy to play. So I'm playing and I'm bleeding internally as a union channelist. So now I'm getting sick and I'm thinking I got the flu. The trainers are putting heat packs on my stomach during the intermission, and that was worse. Now
Probably the worst thing they could have done. Yeah.
And so Robert Fattori goes gets the doctor because I'm laying on the trainer's table. He says, "There's something wrong with you. You never lay on the trainer's table." So he got and the doctor looked at me for 2 seconds. "You're out of here. You got to take your spleen out." He said, "Let's get the stretcher." And I said, "No way. I'm walking out of here." I walked in. And I think back now, it's like stupid.
But because people knew how tough you were, that's how Robbie knew there's something really wrong with him. So you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing in that sense. Remember when they dropped? Was it Mike Modano?
Yeah.
God, how does that happen?
I think that's the game he got elbowed by Mark Messier, I think, too, right?
I think it was, yeah.
Oh, that was funny. So everybody don't know they put him on a stretcher. They're about to put him in the ambulance.
It was a hockey night game, I guess, right?
They dropped him like sideways.
Yeah.
He's tied onto the stretcher, so the stretcher falls. He falls. Oh, that was funny. That's funnier to look at now.
Yeah.
After the fact, because you think it's a national hockey league. Just. Let me see here. Let me see what we got going here. Snaps was a tool. But you got Jack McElhargy out there with him in Vancouver, right? Yeah.
He looked like a Jack McElhargy.
Yeah, no kidding.
He belonged in a movie. Yeah. Out to sea, that kind of guy.
Let me see here. I'm not condemning him for playing. I love that hockey players play through. Just question whether all the injuries at some point have been. Well, that's scratchy, and that's a great point by Susan. I mean, you want the mentality of the guy that'll play through their injuries, but he's got to play and be successful. He can't play and hurt the team. So, to Susan's point, could Kreider have been done more for the team to step aside? But you also love the guy that. I guess that kind of goes back to tying into Susan's comment from before too. Like, do you blame the coaches? I guess I probably, and I'm sure the same, wasn't looking at to blame anybody, but should somebody have stepped in and said, listen, you're not helping us right now because you're not healthy enough. And that's,
You know, when it comes to injuries in particular, Jim Ramsey, right? He was with New York for 20 some odd years, right?
Yeah.
Canadian Olympic. Now he's with Montreal. I found out at that level, he's almost as important as the coaching staff.
oh, yeah.
Maybe even a little more.
Yeah.
Because they deferred to him on, guys, can he play tonight or not?
Yep.
And Rammer, probably, I don't know what, I'm not going to go out on a limb. He's probably the best trainer or one of the top guys that ever was in the NHL. And he had a good, and that was part of his whole strength, is to say you could play, you can't play.
Right. Totally. And I think people have so much respect for him, like from both sides, from management and from players.
Yeah.
That like he could sit with the player and kind of know, and not being critical. Maybe some guys aren't as willing to play with injuries as others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he kind of had that reputation that he knew, okay, this guy will play through anything. So I've got to pull him back a little bit. Maybe this guy's a little less likely to want to play through injury. So I got to kind of say, listen, you're okay.
I've never heard of any player that didn't love Rammer. And I think this whole worried about the room schism between Drury and the room began when Drury fired Rammer. Yeah.
Could have something to do with it. Yeah.
I think that was the beginning, the genesis of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I get why a player would be upset, but I remember many times where things would happen, people would get hired or fired, and you can't why did that happen? But I don't ever remember saying to myself, well, I'm not going to go play as hard because I'm mad because they got rid of this guy, right?
You got every shift is an audition. You want to keep your job.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so this is my team. You know, and if somebody wants to change who my team is, well, that's up to them. That's their management. But whoever is on my team, that's who I'm going to go fight for and play for.
Well, and the good thing about a guy like Rammer, he'll also be able to tell staff he can play.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys that,
Yeah. Sometimes a training camp too, right? Like even training camp, some guys, they do anything to get a training camp.
Yeah.
Harold Snaps. Yeah, I would have loved Snaps. Well, Snaps was the kind of guy, not unlike Tom Wilson is now, where you hated him when he's on the other team because he played hard, but you'd love them on your team. Yeah. Here's a good question here. Are some trainers a lot better than others? It's a good question.
I don't know if it's a degree of a lot better, because to be in the NHL, I mean, there's only 32 teams, so you got to be one of the. It's a pretty small group of guys.
Yeah.
I think also it just depends how they interact with the coaching staff, like I was talking about with Rammer, and the player. Most importantly is the player.
Right.
If they have
the skills and knowledge about injuries are pretty much all the same. It's all the other stuff.
Right. How you relate to a player, I think, is really important. And Rammer everybody loved him. Still do.
Yeah. Where My Chicken. Here's one of our favorite names here. Where My Chicken. Where My Chicken. How do you convince a mother of a young hockey player that losing teeth and taking sticks to the face in the NHL is worth it? Well, that's actually a very good question. So it's worth it at the NHL level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, when I played, it was worth it to me when I was 9 years old. But my mother, she's passed away now, but before she passed away, she did say to me that if she was doing it all over again, she'd never give me a pair of skates. Because, I ruptured my spleen. So I call her from the emergency room.
That's scary.
I get my shoulder separated, getting operated on. I call her from the emergency room. The mother, like, I'm in the United States in another country, and she's in Canada. And I'm calling her from the emergency room getting surgery. So,
how old were you when you left home? 16, 17?
17. Yeah.
17. Yeah. So that's pretty young for a mother to say,
Yeah, especially because I was that farm boy who was never away from home. Right. So, like, I was always there, like, every night. Well, yeah, pretty much every night home with my parents.
Yeah.
Home, and all of a sudden I'm going off to another country.
Right.
And I was a total moron. I would never go to the phone to wait for my parents to call me or call them. So, yeah. So it's to your point, though. I think what mothers in particular, parents need to know now with kids hockey, with youth sports in general, the equipment is so much better.
Yeah.
Like, losing the teeth, and like if a kid loses a teeth now playing youth hockey, that'd be hard because the mask they wear,
cage on, you got a mouthpiece.
Yeah. Someone would really have to go bad for that to happen, and even. Like the hitting part, they don't hit now to the 14? Is that what it is?
Which is totally ridiculous. Yeah.
I know. From a safety point, what Mark's saying is from a safety point up to 14, it's great because now kids are not getting hurt. But once all of a sudden now they turn 14, they don't know how to hit. They don't know how to get hit.
Well, and also what you're doing is you're removing an important part of their development. Coaching. Like, I don't know. I mean, years ago there used to be checking clinics. I don't know if I've ever heard where you got a clinic just on checking, because guess what? They don't play that way anymore. But if you think about like little guys, I mean, 80 pounds hitting 80 pounds, not a lot's going to happen.
And hitting. So there's hitting like where you're trying to kill somebody. You're running them, run through. But hitting is also angling off, playing the body.
Exactly.
It is part of the skills of playing hockey, especially for a defensive player.
And there's a teaching component to it. So, when you tell a kid, listen, if you're going to miss your check, what side of the body you want to miss a check? To the stick side, try to get his hands. But then you just don't learn anything anymore about it. It's also how to receive a check, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Not be standing against the boards 3 feet away, facing all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like some kids get hit now and they're looking around. The guy did it. Well, he's got like 10 pounds of adrenaline pumping through his veins. Right. He's 12 years old. Favorite helmet? What was the old bucket? Was it the Winwell? Is it
Winwell? Yeah. The old Jofas were cool.
The Joe, I couldn't wear a Jofa though.
No, you got too big of a bucket. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. Actually, I was at a clinic on Saturday at Homix Ice Rink in Larchmont, New York, and a dad was there. And you could tell he played the old men's leagues, and he was going on the ice, and he had the Jofa. I didn't want to say anything to him, but it's like Dad,
the Boya Salming style.
I know. Yeah. It was okay for Gretzky to wear it or Salming.
Yeah.
But let me see. Yeah. With the concussion protocol I have today, would it have worked back in the day when you played? Can you just imagine how many players would have been? Oh, yeah. If somebody had called down, like every time we got hit in the head, if somebody had called down from upstairs.
Nobody left on the ice.
Yeah. We'd be looking at the trainer. Like the trainer would, like, I'm not telling him, like, because the guys on the bench would be like, get the frig away from me. You're not telling me I can't play. Yeah. It was it was kind of funny. Like it was more like if a guy didn't play through an injury, guys wouldn't necessarily say anything to him, but they kind of look at him like, what's wrong with you? Like, why not? And so you got like blood rolling down your face. Like, get out there and play.
I mean, Bobby Braun played playoffs with a broken leg. Apparently, Hedman this year played with a broken leg.
Yeah.
And then who was the kid? Was it Charlie McAvoy? Who was the kid up in Boston? Wouldn't come off. He blocking shots on a PK.
It was Colin Campbell's son.
Yeah.
And how about Patrice Bergeron had like the punctured lung and the broken rib and all that kinds of stuff. Yeah, like those. There's like, it's funny how hockey people are, right? They hear those stories. It's like legendary. Like when a guy does it, everybody else, you're like, are you nuts? Like, what is wrong with you?
That's what I'm saying. I think for anybody who doesn't understand that culture would go, that's insane.
Let me see here what we got here. Barry Shelley, justifiable. We don't macho to turn stupid. I don't know why.
I don't know.
There's Danny. There's one of Danny's statements. Let me see here. What do we got? Checking gauntlet drill was real.
Yeah.
Gauntlet drill was
you get guys along the wall. Right?
Oh.
And you got to get through each guy around the wall.
Yeah.
Robbie Ftork did that up in Albany. Remember the kid Jason Smith? He ended up playing most of the time up in. I don't know why, but in that team that year, 94, 95. I mean, they had like at least 10 legit heavyweight fighters on that team. Oh yeah, and it was a fun drill. I'm watching. I'm going, is he mad at that kid or what?
If everyone watched Robbie Ftork, watch old films of him playing with Quebec and everything. Small.
Talk about a helmet, right? He looked like from the Flintstones. Remember Kazoo?
Yeah.
Because his head looked this big and his body was here.
And he would never quit too. Like you played against him, it's like, oh God, I gotta play against. Like it's interesting looking back at those guys. Like, oh, I can't believe I had to play against that guy. Yeah.
I think I mentioned this to you, but do you know what he's still known for in his hometown of? I forget where he is in Mass. Not hockey, soccer.
Oh, is that right, Robbie?
Yeah, it's like a legend up there for soccer. Yeah.
I remember he got traded to the Rangers. So this is like early '80s, and he got down like at practice, started doing stretching on the floor, and we're looking at him like, is this guy okay? What's going on? And he was just ahead of his time. Like probably the most disciplined human being I've ever met in my life.
Robbie. Yeah. And I don't think people realize just how small he really was.
Oh yeah. Tiny.
I went in the office one day, he had his shirt off. His shoulders were like,
totally. But he wouldn't back down from anybody. Yeah.
Great player. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, what do we got? My son played junior against Hospital coach team. His coach prepared the team for this. Oh,
Yeah, it's an old school drill. You're probably not gonna ever see that again, but
yeah,
it's an effective one.
yeah. What else is going on in the world?
Quite a bit, but
I know. Okay, so Trump says they've got a deal negotiated with China.
right. Yeah.
China.
China.
What's the way he says it? China, vagina. I know. We've thought this before. I watch Boomer Esiason in the morning with his show, and they get this guy Eddie Schizzeri who does.
Yes.
You know him?
Yeah.
And so he get these old drops. Like if they've said something 10 years ago, he's got to store it away in the computer, and he'll put it in the most inappropriate time. He'll plop it in there. Like when Boomer is talking to a female or whatever, they've got this one with Boomer saying, "Nice jugs."
Yeah.
If the woman is on the phone, she wouldn't know that it's not Boomer saying it now. And it's just hilarious. Like it's so inappropriate. It's just it's hilarious when it does it. So vagina, and he's always doing the vagina thing.
Watching this comedian the other day, like you got to think about it for a second what he was saying. So he says, "I went in the store, and this woman came up. And we both kind of came online at the same time,
right?
And she was wearing a T-shirt or a sweatshirt that said 100% Native American." And he went, "Oh, go ahead." She's going, "No, you're first." And he's saying, "You're first." She goes, "No, you're first." And he goes, "Are we starting this all over again?" And I had to think for a minute. I go, "That's pretty clever."
That is good.
Pretty clever.
Speaking of that, George Carlin did a skit that I had the scene talking about the whole calling people Native Americans. Now, I'm just repeating what George Carlin said. And he said that people, they thought that Columbus called the natives, what we call natives now, Indians, because he thought he was in India.
Right.
Well, that's not true at all. It was called India back then. Wasn't called India. It was called Housatonic, some other name. So there's just no way he would have thought. It's actually like it was a funny skip, but it was actually very educational about the real facts about all that stuff. That I thought.
Imagine being that, just setting out to sea and not really understanding the planet. And
that whole thing. Like, how do you find
just keep floating till you hit something? I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. The more I study on this whole like pyramids in Egypt and like apparently is it the South Pole where they claim now like you can't fly over the North or South Pole, right? They don't allow it.
Well, you can fly over. I know you can fly over the North Pole because when you fly from New York to China, you actually go over the North Pole.
Okay, so I guess you can't fly over the Antarctica or the South Pole.
Maybe, I'm not sure on that.
But it's not because of safety or anything. Apparently, they don't want you to see. There's theories that there's this giant hole there, and there's this whole society down, not people, but there's like greenery down underneath the ice there. It's this weird.
It may actually have to do with there's not any radar there, maybe. I don't know.
Could be. They also say that pretty much every country has a station there in Antarctica where they're studying what goes on there. Because there's all these different theories, and
at this point, I'm open to anything.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's like we don't believe anything; we believe everything.
Exactly.
Right. Or both. Right.
Yeah.
I know. I'll tell you, I get going on those reels, so and I'll tell you, they make these guys get on, these scientists get on, they start talking about like, okay, so the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
How did they build the pyramids?
Non-union, I believe. I don't know, but now they're saying what there's like
underneath.
Goes down way deep and
What I like too is they talk about like here's a stone that's in the pyramids and it weighs 18,000 tons.
Yeah.
How do you know it weighs 18,000 tons?
Yeah. Well, I guess they can kind of just calculate. But the thing is, maybe there were really advanced civilizations and it was some kind of near extinction event like a meteor or something. And they just went away and we had to start from being back in the woods going, scratching.
To
get to here.
I think we touched on this before. We could potentially be a simulation. So we could be some kid in the basement, his parents' basement, could have a computer program going, and we're in a simulation.
Yeah. Then what happens when he's got to go back upstairs for dinner?
Right.
We're done.
Right. Or he doesn't want to lose it, so like his parents come down and he hides it in the freezer, so we have an ice age.
There you go. Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah. Well, they say, and all kidding aside, there's a guy that's on Joe Rogan a lot, bit heavier guy with a beard, and he's studied all this ancient civilization stuff. He said it's about every 12 to 13,000 years there's a near extinction event that occurs here.
Right.
Again, comet or whatever.
Right.
You hit by an asteroid or something. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're finding like the ice coming and going. It was in Antarctica because the ice melted. They found another within the last 20 years or something. They found another crater that they didn't know before. It's like people say, "Well, geez, why didn't they know this before?" Well, science is always evolving and new things. And
I mean, there was, and we've talked about this, that there was so you have the CERN, CERN collider over in France where they're smashing atoms.
Yes.
And there was some concern, no pun intended, that when they fired it up, it was going to create a black hole. We would be sucked into a parallel universe.
Right.
And I know that didn't happen because the jets still suck.
but I know you're joking.
Yeah.
But and the theory is in this, and I know you know this, but we wouldn't know that happened.
How would you know? Yeah.
Like that is the thing when they talk about parallel universes. You could jump from one parallel universe to another and not even know that you've jumped. So, like, to say that there is no parallel universes, you just can't say it.
Yeah.
Right?
Who knows?
Yeah. It disturbs me when animals go extinct. See, but like, it is an animal, and I see that you don't want to lose an animal. You love animals, but
well, some are worse than others. I mean, we have a problem with bees now in this country. That there's certain ones that are going. We need them to pollinate, or we don't get certain fruits and vegetables.
right.
And can be careful with that. But I'm kind of happy that the dinosaurs aren't around anymore. Yeah, I mean, they could create problems when you're driving.
Could be an issue.
Steer around a T-Rex.
One insect, I think it's called an insect, is grasshoppers have outlived dinosaurs. Like, they did not go extinct.
Yeah, I think, like, you look at a crocodile or an alligator, man. That's kind of, or even a turtle. I mean, some turtles live to be 300 years old.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd really love to be able to have like say, okay, Tom, we're going to give you a pill. Now we're going to tell you all the truths that ever happened. Get rid of all the myths. All the it was JFK killed, but the dinosaurs, ice ages, all that kind of stuff. You're now going to know everything that's gone on. How did we start?
Well, there's a large group of people that don't believe dinosaurs ever existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still people believe that the Earth is flat too.
Yeah. I tend to disagree because if the cats would have pushed everything over the edge by now. Yeah. And I believe in dinosaurs because Flintstone. But anyway.
I know. God, would be something like all that stuff that's going on. Hold on. Susan's on top of things as usual. That was 5,000. Oh, so at the end of the game, oh, wow, he got 5,000 for that. I mean, who went after Marner with the elbow? He just started getting fined.
Was that
Bennett? Was it Bennett?
No. Who's number 7? Is that?
Yeah,
I thought it was number 7.
Yeah.
Is it Vanderway or something like that?
Yeah. Who killed Marilyn Monroe? Yeah, there's so much stuff. Man.
CIA killed her because she knew, she was with Bobby and Jack at the same time. She had way too much information.
One of the things that gets me too is, like, we talk about like countries like, okay, Putin going into Ukraine. Okay, you don't like what he's done, but our history, I hate to say it, but we invaded Iraq saying there's weapons of mass destruction.
There weren't.
Yeah. How about all the other times we assassinated leaders of countries because we wanted somebody else in there running the countries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and look what we've done to Cuba with the embargoes there.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they probably should have been lifted at this point because they're kind of impotent without the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Like, what's the point now? I guess he's a dictator. Whatever. Is he still alive? What's his name?
Fidel's dead, but his brother Raul.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why are we still having the embargo? Like, I've watched some videos about Cuba now. People going there doing, and that's a third world country. Man, that's
beyond that. I mean, they've been having repetitive, complete blackouts through the whole country, no power. Right. And if you see Havana today, the cars are driving from the 50s.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's like a time capsule.
I'm fascinated, like, looking at countries like the Philippines and Thailand as well. The Philippines they've taken old Jeeps from World War II and made them into like taxis or something.
Yeah, they call them a Jinty or something.
Yeah, like that. Jeep.
All this ornate stuff hanging from them.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of admire that there's this like decades old piece of machinery that they keep it going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, that's the impressive thing about people that are poor. They
Yeah.
make things work, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the whole culture,
I'll tell you, these
food.
countries like the Philippines and Thailand, and that, like if you really look into the study, like the how like how beautiful, I think the Philippines is like 7,000 different islands.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do they call a group? You'll know this. What's the name for a group of islands?
Oh, that's a good question.
And I didn't know this. It's just
I
like
don't know.
archipelago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I was feeling like pretty proud of
That
myself.
was good. That's very
Yeah.
good.
Just to say that
You,
word.
you almost sound like Jacques Cousteau a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But having talked to somebody said, listen, over there in the Philippines, the archipelago.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
what did Jacques Cousteau invent?
I don't know what.
Scuba.
Did he really?
And do you know what scuba stands for? It's an acronym.
No, go ahead.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh man, you are turning me on now.
Yeah, that's a hot one. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Now, see, that's not just a useless information one.
Yeah.
That's like really no.
You say that like at a dinner party, you're being asked to leave. Yeah.
Especially after people have had a few drinks. Right?
Like what's he talking about? Get out of here.
It's just, I don't know, you know this too, but I've always get like impressed with like SOS. What does SOS really stand for?
It's something to do with the ship, obviously.
It doesn't stand for anything. It's the easiest letters to use.
Oh, Morse code.
Morse
Get it
code.
out quick. Yeah.
So, and it's been, people say like save our souls or souls.
Yeah.
But it's really, it doesn't really, it's the same thing with Haagen-Dazs, right?
I like it. Yeah, it's a made up name.
Yeah. Like it's like who started calling somebody Mark? Like where did that come from? Like
biblical, man. It's in the Bible.
Yeah, but I mean, but why? Where would say? Okay, I'm going to.
Oh, so when they looked at the floor, my mother noticed a shoe had. Yeah.
Mark or Tom. Like okay, so okay, we're going to come up with the name Tom.
It's another biblical name, Thomas.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so the first.
Do you doubt people a lot?
Do I doubt people?
Yeah.
No, it's doubting Tom. Nice, I like it. Yeah. That's good. But I mean, the first person that was ever called Mark. Like, why did somebody say, "I'm going to name that person Mark"? Like,
it's a good question,
right.
And that's a good question. Yeah, but now we just make names up.
Yeah, I know. True.
And then we change the spelling.
Yeah,
and make it sound like really cool.
Sure.
Carol with a Y and whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, that was Carol Vadney. That picture I sent you. Did you recognize him?
No.
That was Vads.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Probably California years, Golden Seals.
Oh, Danny's jumping in here. My wife's roots are from an archipelago known as Azores. Oh, wow.
Oh, the Azores, yeah.
The Azores. I said
Azores.
Yeah.
You may pronounce that correctly.
Yeah. Azores. No, it's Azores. Right.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Tom was with an Asian aristocratic woman with government connections. We have to rub him out. Rub one out?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, Danny?
Yeah, what's going on?
Jacques, did you? I'm sure you did hear the story. I think it was the Buffalo Sabres drafted a kid. I think maybe we talked about.
Oh yeah.
Kid that was an Asian name or something like that. That was
made it up, right?
Totally made it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
I guess apparently now there's still people that will buy jerseys, Buffalo Sabres jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Why is the table called a table? Why is it plant? Yeah, good point. Like, why come up with these names?
Yeah.
Right. Like
but a plant could be a couple different things.
Really?
Well, a plant, power plant.
Right. Plant it.
A spy.
Right. Or the actual action of planting.
Planting, yeah.
Right. You plant something.
Well, that goes from noun to verb, but yeah.
You think like, how many words are like that? The F word is one of the most famous words.
It's probably the most creative word ever invented. It could be a whole host of things. Yeah.
And we talk about this, the whole idea, and we won't use it, but like, why is it a bad word?
Yeah, and do people know where it came from?
Right. And on the subject of pooping.
I didn't know we were on it, but go ahead. Yeah.
Now, this is going to be very gross, but like, why is it it's a bodily function. So it's something coming out of your body. Mm-hmm. It's really not There's nothing really wrong with it, right? I mean,
No, it's a natural function. Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think it's because it's waste. It's it's nasty.
and the smell of it is not nice.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. Yeah.
Same thing with like urine. It's coming out of your body, so it's not. I mean, there's been stories of people have had to survive had to drink their own urine, right?
Urine? Do you mean?
Urine, yes, urine.
You're thinking of Lake Huron.
There's so many things that we just assume.
So, this true story. A couple SEALs I know, they were doing Arctic training or whatever it was, and they were like so cold that they would pee on each other's hands to warm their hands up so they could operate their weapon.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's body temperature. Yeah.
there's a story. What movie was it? A great story. I think it was about World War II, where a machine gun was overheating, so they had to get all the guys to urinate on the gun.
Well, they say if there's a jellyfish sting, you pee on it.
And doesn't it get rid of like foot fungus too? Like you're in the shower, you pee on your own foot or whatever, and it gets rid of
Your jellyfish. Yeah. I don't know. It could be possible. Yeah. Just
so
be
many
careful
things.
if you. The only thing you have to be careful about peeing in the shower is if you've had asparagus for dinner.
Yeah, it smells bad. Yeah,
You know what that is? That's sulfur.
that's sulfur coming out here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same thing with beets though too, right? They come out all red.
Oh, you think you're dying.
But there's so many things in our world that we just take for granted. Like, why is it the weekend? Why is it Saturday or Sunday the week start?
Here's my memory. You educated me on the difference between why we park in a driveway and why we drive on a parkway.
Right. Yes.
You taught me. Yeah.
Yes. Got to do some research on that. But it's just like, or like the street light down at the end of the street. It's called a stop sign. Well,
so what is it? Running along out to the? Would you say on a farm? It's going out to the
parkway. It actually goes through used to go through a
to the
park.
barn or something. Oh, okay.
A driveway would go around. You drive around your barn or whatever. So
that's what it was. Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
Right. But then there's the sidewalk, or there's another one with the sidewalk too. I don't know. But there's so many things we just take for granted that, like the sun rising and setting. It doesn't rise and set.
Yeah, we all use phrases or whatever. We have no idea what like the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what it means. Yeah.
Right. But here on this show, we know
we do.
We know what hungover.
Yeah, and the rule of thumb too. Rule of thumb was back in the early 1800s. You were legally allowed to hit your wife with a switch, which is a stick, as long I'm gonna get the thumbs up. As long as it wasn't thicker than your thumb.
Right. I've never been able to do that. Thumbs up.
The rule of thumb.
Which can be no longer than your thumb, and you can hit your wife with it.
What's wrong with that knuckle? But what was that?
So you could hit. So they had rules of how you could hit your wife.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Well, yeah, that's rule of thumb. Or how about dead ringer?
I think you told me this one. I can't remember. Go ahead.
They used to put a bell in the coffins because they were burying people that weren't quite dead.
That's
and
right.
if they'd hear the bell, let's go get him. Yeah.
You got to do your show. It's going to be getting close.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to hop.
All right. So listen, I'll tell you what. Like this is kind of
We
like.
should go straight to Library of Congress.
Oh, totally. But I mean, again, you know what it is? I impress you. So it's like a player on a team. He's hurt, suspended, whatever it is. So he can't be with the team for 2-3 weeks, 2-3 games in a row, whatever it is. And now all of a sudden he comes back. Okay, is he going to come back? Is he going to ease his way into the game? Or will he come back with a vengeance?
This is like Jockman coming back playing for the Red Wings.
Right. True.
Yeah.
And again, very comparable to the whole Pope situation too, right?
Yeah.
Pope guys. The Catholic religion is still there, like those 1.4 billion. I've heard over 1.4 billion Christians.
Yep.
Is it Christians or Catholics? Catholics.
Well, Catholics are Christians. Yeah.
Is
Christians
part of the Catholic religion?
No, Catholics are Catholics. It's a Christian religion. Like you have Muslim religions, you have Hindu religions, you have Asian, like Buddhism. So you have Christians, and they could be Catholic, they could be Protestant, they could be Episcopalian, they could be Baptist. It's different, but they all believe in Christ is a common thread.
So, but is there like some hierarchy? Like, are there Catholics, and then underneath that,
There's no league, there's no standings. Yeah. Well, the Catholics are probably the biggest, I would think, Christian religion on the planet. Yeah.
So, but Christians then still are the Pope to them is still an important thing, right?
Oh yeah, he's closer, like he's the top dog, the Pope.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Our secret agent here. Catholics are Christians.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but are Christians Catholics?
No, some Christians can be a Baptist. You can be a Christian
Okay.
Protestant. So the Protestants are all protesting when, what was his name? Luther. He was upset with the Catholic Church because they were selling. In other words, you could sin and pay off, and okay, you're good to go. And he said that's wrong. So he had a whole bunch of protests, and he nailed his list on the door wherever it was in Europe. Protest Protestants. That's how that all came to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
The whole smoke thing coming out.
And
of
Luther, by the way, it wasn't Luther Vandross. It was a different Luther.
It's funny because we said Luther, all these other Luther names. So there's some funny, like the smoke coming out of the white.
Did you see the one with Snoop?
Oh, classic.
That was classic. Yeah.
That's sick. I'll tell you.
It was really
That's
good.
one thing now. You can't do anything that's serious now without some
can't.
kind of meme or something. I'm looking forward to when was the black guy with the large member? Didn't he get famous during the pandemic again? Remember the old
He was actually he actually has a podcast. He did time in federal prison, and he has on other prisoners, and they do.
This guy's dead. The one I'm thinking about, the guy.
Oh, okay.
The black guy, the big black guy that's jacked. He was a wrestler, porn star, something like that, and he had the large penis and became famous during. I think it's during the pandemic.
And there,
Everybody would superimpose his picture.
Yeah.
Which is
that guy's still alive.
Are you sure?
I'll send you a link to his YouTube channel.
I think he's dead. Okay, but this is good. I like having these little debates, you and I. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, but you may be right. But he did have. I'll check.
And here's the next part too: is he Catholic or Christian? That's the next part we need to.
I don't think it came into play.
All right, brother. Have a great. All right, buddy.
You
Let's
too.
take care of everybody out there. 988. Take care of the Christians, the Catholics, the porn stars, everybody.
Everybody.
Plants.
Yep.
Anybody else we need to take care of? The tables,
Dead ringers.
dead ringers, people that are hungover.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, brother. Have a great week.
All right, guys.